What's up, everybody? Welcome. Appreciate you guys hanging tight here while we're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, but we're here. So, we made the decision last week to, keep these, Q&A, agent attraction focused, moving forward. We were alternating things out and we're like, man, this is where we need to be. This is where we need to be having the conversation, helping people. Not only, what are we doing to get and increase headcount, but to also keep the headcount. I think that's a struggle for a lot of folks right now, is the retention piece. And, I heard this not too long ago, cuz, and love let you run with it here. But really around the aspect, all retention is just productivity. So how are you helping your agents get productive? How are you helping your agents? And remember, production, being productive is getting the results. If they're not getting the results, then they're just being busy. So I'll let you run with that, because right now, I think that's where I see it a lot. Like, people are, agents, people are team leaders, they're struggling to get their agents into production, get their agents doing those activities.
Yeah, it starts with accountability. At the very minimum, what we do for every agent that we have that's, I pulled it up, an agent in the top 50 agents in agent attraction in the company, it's 51% of those agents are actually FLQA, meaning only selling, 5,000 GCI every 6 months. Only 51%. That's for everybody. So some have higher, some have lower, some have teams that have more productive agents. I think that's probably true for the most part. If you have a team, you're probably percentage of agents that actually produce are going to be higher because you're doing more for them to keep them productive. That's part of why they're on your team, right? So, so there's probably a little bit less of a fall off. And so we just got out of a strategy meeting this morning. Third meeting on how we we're building a product that we're selling as well for the purpose of recruiting ultimately, but we have to always focus on getting them to the value. If you're going to sell something or they're going to partner with you DXP, how are you getting them into production? And what we talked about, I think the last call a little bit is, a lot of the agents, they just aren't trained on the phone. They're not, you get into real estate, we can show you how to turn on the leads. And then the biggest next bottleneck where Herbie is going to be is going to be with, what you're saying on the phone. How are you communicating and converting, and are you following a process? Are you winging it when they tell you they're not ready to do something now? Are you still figuring out timing and motivation? Are you really uncovering the real needs and wants? Like all of that stuff is, it becomes second nature to those of us who've done it for a long time, but most agents really have never been trained, right? And so just making sure that, hey, we'll solve your biggest problem. You don't have anybody to talk to, but then we're going to teach you how to talk to them, right? And really trying to, put a kind of a curriculum in place that gets them, A, talking to people that want to buy and sell, B, knowing what to say, when they're working with them, and then, instead of just going, an inch deep and a mile wide with all the things you can do in real estate, now let's start to, help you with building your brand, helping you with attracting versus chasing, and starting to add some of those pieces to it later, from, YouTube channel and retargeting and all those different shiny objects that are out there. But how do we do it in a way that's going to increase conversion, increase your brand, and attract back to you business? And so that's, YouTube strategy, how to build your own personal brand, some of the stuff that Holly does, all of those things, identifying your ideal customer profile, who you're talking to when you're doing videos, how to do all that stuff correctly. And it's like, that's where our mind's at, is in, not everybody's going to go and do it all, but they need to have a track to run on that makes sense into how to get them into production. And for us, it's leads come first, what to say comes next. You don't have somebody to talk to. I can teach you what to say all day long, but you're not on the phone with people to even say it. So, so you having to hold them, accountable to that process is the key. And, just making sure that, they know they have access to this kind of stuff is a whole nother challenge in itself when they're not on your team, they're not engaging with you daily, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I think that's I think, that's, I mean, I think every real estate agent has gone through that, right? You get into the business, nobody shows you how to get a customer. You eventually figure out that, you could be better at lead generation, you could be better at conversion, and you start to, seek out and coach and go to free events and, go to paid events and that kind of stuff. But, truthfully, most people don't even know that they don't know that what they don't know. And so, just making sure that, and the other thing is, man, people get bad advice. I mean, every real estate agent that I talk to has talked to somebody in, their other office that they were at before, and they were doing this thing or that thing. And I'm like, man, like there's a lot of tactical things you can do, but not a lot of it's going to be proven. Not a lot of it's going to be repeatable. And not a lot of it is very well thought out. And so, they get that shiny object syndrome, and, they're kind of all over the place. So giving them a track to run on and some clarity around why we're doing the right things in the right order. You can't say that stuff enough. You really can't.
No, I mean, you're so spot on. And that is one of the things too, right? When they don't know what they don't know, they start grasping for every damn thing that they can, and they're chasing that shiny object. And I read a really good thing, kind of talking about, your process. And you look at, okay, yeah, we can maybe fine tune the process. However, have we increased the intensity of the process to make sure that it's not the process and it's the, the person operating the process.
Right.
And, what used to possibly, get us an appointment after 3 conversations may take 10 to 15 conversations now to result in that. And so, looking back on making sure doing the things within our control, but you said that one of the very first things that you said, it comes down to an accountability. And there's a lot of agents right now that are running from that accountability, chasing the shiny objects. And so, I mean, at what point do you help the ones that are swimming to the boat versus the ones that are swimming away?
Yeah. Man, I've had some really good calls with agents, and that are trying to figure it out in this last week. One agent that I really, really like, but like the biggest challenge, they have to understand the philosophy of whatever it is they're trying to do. So like, she did like, I can't remember what the number of deals was. She did pretty decent. It was like 10 million, 12 million, and she wants to get to 18 million. But the things that she did to get to 10 or 12 million aren't sustainable necessarily. They're not predictable, right? So, I had this attorney that sent me, a few clients last year. Okay, well, that's great. Well, what's happening now? They're not sending you any clients. So there's a relationship there. There's nurturing you can do to hopefully, but you're not in control of that, right? You're dependent upon someone else. And so that same 10 million ain't gonna be the same 10 million this year. It's going to come from other things and other actions, and she's all over the place. And so like they have to buy into a philosophy, in my opinion, that you have to have something, a pillar, something that's predictable and consistent, and that builds a pipeline of business consistently for you, before you can move on and do something new. Otherwise you go do this thing and then, okay, now that guy's not sending me any business over there, or, and then you go chase this object, and that thing you did, all that hustle and work you did to, drum up this deal over here doesn't happen again. Right. And so you got to build those oil wells in the business, build one oil well, get it pumping, and then add another, and then add another. And that's how you grow production. And then, at a certain point, you shift over to, the focus on, and for, it's pretty much been the same for as long as I've been in the business. If you want to get to the listing side of the business, you either prospected FSBOs and expireds and closed a couple of 3 deals a month, which resulted in an extra, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in commissions that allowed you to start, focusing on branding and really attracting business through building up your brand and through marketing, which may be with the neighborhood, or it could be with billboards, or it could be with, it could be with any number of mediums, but some subset of the audience in your marketplace has to know who you are and think of you first, right? Period. And who was I talking to? I can't remember. I had a lot of really good conversations in the last couple of weeks ago. Dustin Black's here in town. And one of my buddies is back, Daniel Goldsmith, who is a huge marketer, and then Buddy was here the other night. We were just talking business and lead generation and conversion and lifetime value of a customer, and like all of the all of the things that it takes in order to build a really successful business. And, you have to know who your ideal customer is. You have to be in front of people, and they have to see you enough times that they think of you. If you ever want the phone to ring with someone that doesn't know you, that wants to sell a property, you have this book of business, if you've been in it long enough, that are repeat and referral that come back to you. It's not really predictable, but it's always there. You don't know when you can't tell me in 90 days who's going to send you a referral or who's going to come back and do business again, but it's an opportunity for you to sure that you provided a tremendous value, and that they think of you when it comes real estate and they're referring you. That's an area of the business that you can focus on. And if you're not doing, you can probably do better and actually get an increase in the percentage of people that send you referrals and repeat. But most agents, when especially as many new agents that get in the business every year, they don't have that. So they have to learn how to turn a stranger into a customer, right? And so they have to buy into this. None of this stuff is going to, you might get a deal, but none of it is going to result in building a business. And that's, unless they agree with that framework, and then, they have to come to their own conclusion. What are all the ways for me to move forward right now, the next 90 days, and what's the right next step, right? So otherwise some new shiny object comes up, or the Zillow guy calls you and sells you a zip code that's 3 cities over because that's the only one available, and you bought it because you didn't really have clarity on, what was the right steps in the right order, right? And so, I see this priority confusion amongst everyone in this industry, because there's so many things you can do. It's not real easy to kind of define it until you have a process for how you make decisions. When you start to have a process for here's where I'm at, here's where I'm trying to get to, then you can start to say, well, maybe not no, but not right now. What's going to pay me the fastest? What can I, if I'm going to spend $1,000, when will I be paid back? Right. So if you want to go, this agent I was talking to the other day wants to be he wants to really focus on listings. And I get it. It's the highest return on investment time thing you can do. But there's nothing I can tell you other than calling FSBOs and expires that's going to result in you getting a listing next month. So right. There's not very many things, right? Like that are proven marketing, and somebody's going to pick up the phone and call you that doesn't know you and list their house. It's just not. It takes time and it takes repetition, 17 to 21 exposures before someone's going to be thinking of you first. If you're direct mailing the neighborhood, or even if it's, an audience on Facebook that you're, doing video content for, or whatever that audience is, it takes 17 to 21 times. And if you're only doing something and getting in front of them once a month, mailing them something because somebody told you to do that, which that's what this agent was doing, I said, well, good luck. In about 3 years, some of these people might actually remember you, right? That's just not enough, right? You got to have an omnipresence. You got to be everywhere, and they got to see you everywhere before they're going to think of you. And so, you can go down that path and spend that money, but eventually you're going to be like, man, I can't afford to keep doing this. And you stop doing it and it doesn't work. Then you say marketing doesn't work. Well, no, you just didn't understand the principles. And so, there's a lot to learn, and, I think most of my lessons bought are lessons taught, right? I made the mistakes of doing it wrong, and I'm like, okay, now I understand why that didn't work, or I understand why this did work. And you gotta educate them to that, and they have to buy into that. Otherwise, they'll go rogue on you and they'll go do something that doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, no, it is, and really getting them bought into that, taking the time to educate them, I think is and that's what, you and I were talking about last week as well, was just such a leadership void that's in the industry right now. It's because that you have all of these people that were trying to get teams going, that was relying on, the business being a little bit easier to, to acquire those opportunities, and kind of took their eye off of it and not really paying attention. They just don't do a great job tracking the data, tracking their numbers. And then now they're sucked back into production, and they're not there to educate, coach, and lead, their agents. So there is a tremendous leadership void. And, we've said this over and over. I mean, all agent attraction is just leadership. It's just leading at a higher level. And that's where the retention comes in, knowing them, knowing what they're the best at, holding them accountable, getting them clear on their plan, their process, and, getting them to show up. Right.
Yeah,
that's where that accountability comes in.
Yeah. The other half of that other half of that coin is half of them ain't going to do shit no matter what you do. So
there you go.
You got that to deal with as well. And like you said a minute ago, you help the people that are swimming to the boat. Like, hey man, if you're willing to get on a call with me and you're gonna ask questions, and I'm gonna work with you, I'm gonna help you. But
Yeah.
I can't, if you got your head in the sand and you're just not doing nothing, there's nothing anybody can do for you. Like you got to have some desire to be able to get through a change in the marketplace. And a lot of people, we saw it in 08, 07, 08, man, a lot of people just put their heads in the sand and didn't want to look up and face the change that was now at that time became, you better figure out short sales, right? And you better learn some new skills that we didn't have to deal with before. But for those that are hungry and looking, and there's a lot of those agents out there. I think that's why I saw a little thing that came across a minute ago that, all these teams that are joining EXP right now, there's, people are looking for a solution right now. And so, when we can show them that we are that solution for them, I think it creates opportunity for us to get great agents aboard.
100%. Appreciate you guys jumping in with us. Open it up. Any questions that you guys have, anything that you're struggling with, anything that you maybe want to throw out, see if we can get some connections, some feedback, either throw it in the chat or unmute and jump in. We're here to help you guys heading here into the month of May. Going by fast. Mr. Murphy in the house, hanging out with us.
Just seeing if there's anything new happening. I just got back from a conference called X Prize. These were the people that dared private industry to do a space launch. And they bet $10 million, gave a prize of $10 million for the first private industry person to get into space. So after $30 billion of private industry invention and innovation, they finally did it. The prize was $10 million. The stuff they had to invent to get there, like whole new government agencies and stuff, took forever. But the whole point of this was, they've done a lot of challenges, but the challenge now is AI. Where are we going with it? Artificial intelligence, using AI in your business. How can you use it for predictive analytics? How can you use it to write really good marketing stuff? How can you use it? One agent is now taking all of the MLS descriptions from all the properties. She sends her clients all these properties and she goes, just mark the ones you like and send them back. So sends back 5 or 10. She just copies and pastes it into ChatGPT. Each one of the descriptions says, write me a 1-paragraph summary of what my client's actually looking for. And every one of her clients is blown away that she understands exactly, because she's noticing, some of them want three bedrooms, but they'll settle for a 2-bedroom if it has this. So it puts all, AI is going to take over a lot of the busy work. Mm-hmm. We will now be able to put a contract into ChatGPT and it'll check it for accuracy with 98.7%. That's better than our contract compliance specialists. It will knock out all the gray area in a contract, as Jay knows, is anytime you have an agent write anything on the contract. That's the gray area legally. So we're getting into that stuff is going to go away, and it's going to be just relationship building. So if you guys don't understand, the more parties you throw, the more dinners you go to, the more events you show up at, is about the only thing AI is not going to be able to do. And even for snowflakes who sit on their bed and chat back and forth with ChatGPT, tell me a story that makes me feel pretty and makes me go to sleep. For those people, yeah, that's even coming in 10 or 20 years. Glenn said, oh no, they're going to automate relationships. And I go, yeah, but right now those people are 20 years old, 25. They're not going to have any real money or Escalades or anything or Teslas until 2040. So we've got some time here, but being on the cutting edge of AI is critical. And if you guys, ChatGPT is free. There's a lot of interfaces, a lot of user interfaces for it. And you got to find the one that'll light your hair on fire. And it's real easy. You go to ChatGPT, which is free, go to chat.openai.com and ask it, what are the best 5 free learning websites for learning ChatGPT? And then ask it, what are the best 5 free websites for prompt engineering, because ChatGPT only answers what you give it. So how you ask questions, if John wanted to ask some questions about coaching or develop a coaching program, he'd have to learn to ask it for what he wants. So asking questions and how you ask them, and you can put little brackets from the point of a real estate professional. How would you answer this client? I did one the other day. I answered one of the alphas in the voice of the alpha. So I answered it as if I were them. So it's kind of cool, but it's fun to play with, but it's absolutely going to be necessary. As stated by Gary Keller and as stated by the NAR economists, there's going to be less agents, there's going to be less teams, there's going to be bigger teams, and they're going to be armed with every bit of technology on the planet. We will get to predictive analytics very soon. If you want to see how cool this technology is, go watch South Park, and that's a show you may or may not like, it doesn't matter. And it's an episode called Deep Thought. And it's online, it's on your computer, because it was 100% created, drawn, written by, and performed by an AI computer. At no point did Trey Parker ever touch anything. It was 100%. He just said, write a South Park episode that explains artificial intelligence. And it did the whole thing. And it'll scare the heck out of you, because that's how you're going to be doing. You're going to be debuting properties in the future. It's going to be an AI version of you showing a property virtually. You can show 100 properties at a time. You don't even have to be in there. You just have to ensure that property has, a Matterport or a lot of great photos or whatever. But we're going to move into a cool world, and faster than you can imagine. If you look at every single day in the news, it's how do we restrict, how do we limit, how do we control AI? Because it's creating itself. I went into I'll say this, I was in the bathroom and I had a meeting coming up, and it was about how to introduce the growth team to AI. So I said, ChatGPT, please write a meeting agenda for real estate professionals that introduces the ChatGPT technology and prompt engineering from the point of a real estate brokerage. And it wrote the best meeting agenda I've ever seen in my life in 10 seconds. I mean, I have it on my computer right now. I'm like, wow. So getting on the cutting edge. Some places will not move as fast. Some places will move faster. Regulations will try to stymie it. Page 2 of that, by the way, is how to defend against a 7-foot-tall cybernetic robot. So you need to figure that one out too, because they said it's probably in August when it will actually exceed human intelligence. So funny stuff, huh?
It's crazy times.
Well, I mean, and you're looking at how it impacts the economy. It makes people who do repetitive tasks and mundane tasks like contract compliance checking. It makes that irrelevant. Copyright editors. 2 lawyers have already been sued for not using AI to check their briefs before they submitted them. And the judge ruled in favor of the plaintiff, saying that if they had checked their work with AI, their financial result would have been better. Mm-hmm. And so now ChatGPT has to check attorneys' briefs before they are submitted. They actually have attorney AI platforms now. We have an AI bot named Luna. EXP does. Seth Siegler's putting it on our main page. You can ask Luna anything. We've uploaded all of our contracts, all of our policies and procedures. We're in the process of uploading state broker requirements. You'll be able to ask it anything. We want you, John, to be able to go on there and say, who do I contact if I need a financial sit down, with a prospective brokerage? And it'll A, send an email to me, but B, it'll say it's Sean Murphy. Here's his phone number. Here's his email address. So it's going to be able to use the organizational chart to get you what you want. as Jay knows, finding who you need in this industry is the key.
Mhm.
You know who to call to get it done. It all works better. So that was our big aha. I was with Glenn this weekend. He's going, getting agents the answers they need right away is the key. And that's where we're headed. So, I mean, it's totally off subject to what you guys were talking about, but it's going to be the marketing of the future. You're going to just say, ChatGPT, create a campaign that caters to buyers in the Oklahoma City area or in this neighborhood. Even this one, Mark, who works with our Verbella, created a realtor website for Culver City, California, where we were for this event. In 8 seconds, he typed in, create me a real estate website for Culver City, California. And it came complete with pictures and descriptions of every neighborhood and all the attractions. And all you had to do was frame in some IDX search feature and it was done. And it even put, this is your placeholder because we don't have your picture. And it was phenomenal. It had I'm like, wow, I didn't know Culver City had all this stuff.
Right.
So we're getting to that kind of world, guys, where you get to spread out, go global. I'm still trying to figure out how to put a handle on it because I've only been assigned this monster for about a week. And where do we stop? What's the future, John?
I hope the 7-foot robots don't show up.
That's it. My wife is a counselor, and yesterday she said she needed an NDA and she needed NDA confidentiality agreement, and she had ChatGPT write it by the time she finished typing it. And it was pretty amazing. It used standard non-disclosure agreements, made it pertain to her counseling business and her type of counseling, put in confidentiality agreements and everything, and even put the lines in where you sign here, executed, which state, city, everything. It was incredible. When Glenn was doing a conversation on AI, everybody's going, where do we start? And Glenn goes, let's ask the AI. So he said, how AI, ChatGPT, create an agenda for a meeting with top real estate executives on how to begin learning and using AI in their business. And it created the agenda right there. So it created an agenda about AI by AI. That was it, by artificial intelligence. So if that doesn't mess y'all up, sorry. Other than that, I mean, real estate's tearing it up. I had 2 houses sell on my street last week, so I was just happy to see real estate moving. So
yeah, for sure. It's good. Great stuff. Thank you. Thank you for taking us down that hole. And I mean, it's critical, right? We just have that level of awareness. So now with that awareness, then we can, what are we going to do with it? Is key. So Savannah, welcome.
Hi guys. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Now I'm excited. I want to go hop on chat with GPT. It's good.
So
it's overwhelming.
So how do we take the chat GPT, the AI, to our advantage within kind of what your world with the Honey Badger app and being able to leverage that tool with AI?
With AI, that's so above my pay grade. You no idea. I'll get back to you. I will get back to you next week. Yeah. Okay. Who's already using it? Marianne is in the chat. Someone says you guys are already okay. Well, you guys tell me, how can we use it with Rapid Funnel?
Well, this morning I put in all the parameters of my biography. I just started typing in U.S. Navy, 1981, U.S. Junior National Soccer Team, 1978. I started typing in everything about me. Brokerage owner with 513 agents, everything I could think of. I pretty much took 3 or 4 biographies from throughout my life and put them in there, copied and pasted them in there. And then I put, write a professional biography about me from a third party perspective. And it outdid any ghostwriter I've ever had. I could share it with you, but instantly it hit me. I went, I'm going to go rewrite my homepage on my website. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put this in there, and I'm going to say, right, and this is what I have. This is my biography. Write a new homepage for my website. And this large language format isn't really kind of thinking. It just has it has Google in it. It has Wikipedia in it. It has everything in it. So it just draws from everywhere.
Yeah.
Be aware it hallucinates. Sometimes it spits out erroneous crap.
Yeah, I think it comes down to what can't AI do? Like what's something that like we still have to do that it can't do? And I think it's just the authentic connections, it can't talk to a person face to face. So yeah.
June 1st. They will have a video rendering system integrated with ChatGPT that can actually create a very realistic character of you and can talk to you using voice to text, sort of like Otter AI or Fireflies. If you guys use Fireflies, do I see any otters on here right now? No. Have you ever seen Otter.ai as a member of your Zoom? They're recording it. They're recording it in a text format. The problem is it's 45 pages. You're never going to go back to it. Those are for people who really, they don't want to attend the meeting and they think they're attending it, but they're never going to look at it. But if you use one called Fireflies, it records the meeting. It records who said what. And then at the end, it does the bullet points for the meeting and does a summary, like a 1 page or half a page summary, bullet points and action items and next steps from the meeting. It derives all that by itself. Whether you mentioned an action item or not, it's pulling out when George says, we really could use some more marketing material for the honey badgers or whatever, just in passing, and we move on. It marks that as an action item and a next step. So it tells how long each person in the meeting spoke, or if they spoke at all. It can identify who's leading the meeting. So that's Fireflies. That's Fireflies.ai. And it's $20 a month.
Right?
What's
Like,
that?
or whoever, or somebody's disrupting the meeting, you probably identifies that too. But what I mean?
It actually gives you you can click on, there's 4 buttons, positive, negative, no effect, or hostile. And you can actually click on what are all the positive comments or positive statements, and it will just show positive statements. So you can see who's more positive. I could click on J and positive and see all J's positive statements. And it's $20 a month. And you just turn it on right now and Fireflies. And it's really good because you can see what you're getting out of the meeting or who's getting what. It does help if people turn their cameras on and talk. But it's a pretty outstanding technology that's coming this way. And I like it because as Jay and John sit here, and John's giving you valuable information, he can really see what people are wanting or what they focus on or where the meeting went wrong. But it improves our interactions, and it's only a negative until you answer the question, and then it's positive.
Wow.
Wally just tested the chat, and it's scary cool. it is. It's I could record this on Fireflies, dump it in ChatGPT and say, write an old English story involving these characters. And it would make a whole story about you guys in jolly old England. I mean, it's that nuts.
So, Juan asked a great question. If more and more people start utilizing this, where do we stand out? What, how do we continue to differentiate ourselves if everybody's utilizing this at a high level?
Well, ChatGPT doesn't create anything. It just pulls from the existing knowledge base. So having all of what we're working on right now with Tony Beach and our tech team is we're going to have all the statistical information to do predictive analytics. They can just go, what's the best way to find a house? Or what's what are the best negotiating tactics and getting the best price in the house? And so can you. But it's still, who do they know? I mean, ChatGPT is as big as the universe. It still doesn't put somebody in front of them. 90% of the people out there are going to use the first agent that approaches them when they're ready to buy or sell. So marketing is your attempt to be in front of them when they're ready to buy or sell. So when you're doing consistent marketing, you want to make sure you're hitting them every 11 to 21 days. I think that's the statistic. You're staying in front of them with the consistent message. But when they get to you, they're like, how can you help? Well, things like knowing exactly what they're looking for. Being able to say, obviously your needs have changed. Let's reanalyze what you're looking for. Let's go through a few more houses so I can better narrow it down to what you're looking for. We are moving into a world where somebody's going to come to Jim Pruitt and say, here's the house I want. This is the price I'm willing to pay. Let's go get it. You're getting a lot more of those consumers from the Zillow age that come to you with knowing what they already want. And you didn't have to do any lead generation on it other than be in front of them marketing. Basically, Agent X is going to use it for better marketing, for predictive analytics, and for figuring out what their customers really want. They're also going to be able to do the overview. Right now, you tell them it's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,200 square feet. It's white, but where's the nearest restaurants? Where's the ChatGPT? When they find a house, you say, write a summary. I'm in Oceanside, California. Write a summary of Oceanside, California, San Luis Rey, River Valley area, and amenities for homeowners. Tell it where's a dry cleaners, where's the nearest airport, stuff like that. Be able to give you an overview of the area. Believe it or not, everybody out there knows of Amazon, and there's still people that don't use it. There will always be a Nordstrom's and an Amazon. We're not getting replaced. We're just going to be more efficient. And when Jeff Bezos was asked by I think it was a hardware store owner, you're putting the mom and pops out of business. Or no, he goes, you're putting all the stores out of business. He goes, oh, no. I recognize the need for stores. I'm just trying to change the sign on the front. Because I know I'm going to, at one point, when all the touch, feel, and try on stores are get down to a certain point, I need to have physical stores, or I'm going to be doing a lot of returns on shoes. So he knows there's always going to be a Nordstrom's and there's always going to be a Ross. There's always going to be the changeover. We have a couple of decades where our services are absolutely going to be necessary at all levels. I think the next step we run into with AI is that out of fear, they put the brakes on it. Whether fear is justified or not, yes, I don't want an 8-foot robot, but they'll put the brakes on it with a lot of, even Elon Musk says, we need to back off. We need to put in some serious firewalls, and then we need to move forward responsibly. This is just like cryptocurrency. When it came out, the whole world was, woohoo, we're in COVID and there's this new crypto coin and it's going to go nuts. Now it's getting regulated by every country in the world. And if you look at the reality of crypto, if we went to an all crypto platform, the government could track every penny you had and every penny you spent and on what. That would not be good. So same thing with AI. This is an open platform. Just remember that, Cindy. Don't type in your name or the names of your friends. Don't put in any PI, personal information, because it gives you a lot, but it also takes everything you put in there and keeps it. So if Jay Kinder goes, I'm going to do a P&L, I'm going to upload my P&L and I'm say, ChatGPT, write me a really professional P&L so I can show it to this bank or whatever. So now all I have to do is go in there and say, ChatGPT, show me an example of Jay Kinder's finances, and it'll pull it up for me because you gave it to an open web system. So don't go putting in, you know, your health workout statistics. Don't, you know, the next thing these guys are going to be doing is tracking how healthy you are. Just read an article this morning that they can now, AI can now detect cancer at a better rate than the machines can. So it's starting to put together your patterns and stuff. The only thing I've ever asked AI, I did put my bio in there, but with redacted names. I said, redact all the names, and it won't upload the names. It might, but I advertise as wide as I can anyway, so I don't care. But I'm putting anything anything really pertinent in there. Mostly I'm just asking it how to better learn about AI. But and AI for real estate, it'll tell you. Ask it, how can I better use artificial intelligence to improve my real estate business? Boom, give you pages of stuff. So way smarter than me.
Love it. Love it. Savannah, is there anything that, you know, I know kind of combining the call, having you kind of jump in with us, you know, while we have everybody's attention is kind of the intent, but being able to, you know, kind of showcase where we're at with the app, any updates, anything that, you know, we want to share with everybody.
Yeah, my agenda for today, I have a slide deck that to go over just specifically on how to organize your contacts and utilize filters and labels. And what you were saying, Sean, was the marketing, you want to be in front of the right person at the right time. That just piggybacking off of that, and how to use our technology to make sure your follow-up game is accurate at the right time. And so if you're cool, I'll just share my screen for
Absolutely.
a couple minutes. Okay, cool. If you guys don't have the
Time to jump, guys. Talk to you
Thank
later.
you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
I learned a lot from you, so it was good. Seriously, I'm like gonna go explore this for my own business. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I might need sharing capabilities. I think we'll be good. Okay.
You're good.
So if you don't have the app, this is the link. You can go to rapidfunnel.com, getting started with Honey Badger. You guys have incredible tech. Your app is loaded with stuff to make the agent attraction space is so simple for you guys. So that's where you can go for it. But for those of you who don't know me, I have built a network marketing business for the past 4 years. So talking about building a team, just attracting people to yourself, has been my life for the past 4 years. So I have been using this tech for probably the past 2 months. And it's totally changed how effective I've expanded my business. It's been incredible. So this is some of the best technology on just being able to follow up and just not let people fall through the cracks. And it's just simple. It's so simple, you guys. So if you don't have it, highly recommend getting it. It's really affordable. So yeah, go to that link. But today specifically, we're just going to go over how to manage your contact database in a way that you can actually use it effectively. And difficulties, there's a lot of other tools out there, CRMs, different stuff. I know you guys have something through EXP. I can't remember the tech. What's I don't know, you guys use something. There's other technology you have through EXP for managing leads and stuff.
KB Core. Yeah.
There it is. Thank you. KB Core. Yeah. So you have tools like that. But if you're using like LinkedIn, if you have a lot of different outlets where you're getting contact information from, whether it's social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, however you're connecting with people or out and about, how do you have it on one spot where you can manage it and you own all the data? Okay. Because like social, just like we're talking about AI, it's might be free to use, but the data is being used by someone else and they're making a lot of profit from it. So this technology, you own all your data. Okay. Prospecting, people who are like, we call it hot. We have an algorithm that identifies who is a good prospect, not prospect, a good candidate to follow up with, someone who's engaging with stuff you've sent them. How do you know who to follow up with accurately and when's the right time to follow up with them? we have solutions to that. Not having a routine is a roadblock to success because there can just be so much noise. You know, if it's not simple, I know for me, if I have to sit down and think about who I need to follow up with longer than like 20 seconds, I just put it off, you know, and that's not good. So how is it simple? How is it right in front of your face? This is our solution. So in our app, we have ways to add pictures so you can remember who the person is, because I remember in like, I call it the dark ages before this technology entered my life. I literally would write down on like a notebook and I'd write down a name and then a number to call. And I just had a list and it was like, I don't remember who these people are. This is like 6 months ago, you know, but now I use this and it's totally changed it. So adding pictures, using our 5-star rating system. So people do it differently, but I kind of gauge how I felt about my interaction or just how the conversation went. I give them a 1 through 5-star rating. Detailed notes. Do you know the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People? Have you guys ever read that book? Okay, good. I was going to say, you have it. That's your challenge. But they talk about remembering what's important to people, because it makes you stand out above the rest. You know, you're not just trying to get something from, like, you genuinely care. And so we have a way to take detailed notes about that person. So when it's time to connect with them, you know exactly, you know the name of their husband, what industry they're in, what their kids are involved in, if they have 15 dogs that they're super passionate about going to the dog park, you know, just it's important. And so taking notes, and then labels and tasks. This is a big part of today, using labels. And I use this every day. I literally just went through and generated like 8 sales yesterday because I utilized the label feature, and my timing was accurate because of some promos I was doing personally. So I'll teach you guys how to use labels, and then adding people to a campaign. And then we use email campaigns, drip campaigns over time. Very, very powerful tools to keep people engaged over time. Because just like Sean was saying, the right time happens. And if you're the first one that they see, they're going with you. Okay. So it's so about timing. And so using our technology to put yourself in the right time. And then the contact journey. So you can see where you're at in progression with a specific contact in kind of a process that you guys do to expand business. So I'm going to jump into the app really quick. It takes there's a little lag. So I'm sorry. It's going to take about 10 seconds. Do you guys have any good jokes? Come on, no jokes?
Feel like we could ask ChatGPT to write some jokes for us.
There we go. That's my quick. Someone, ChatGPT. Okay, this is your guys' app, Honey Badger Nation app. I love your colors. I love your app. This is like, I've dug through your resources and I'm like, oh, I think I could be a certified agent now. So you guys have really good stuff in here. But specifically today, we're going to just go over just the contact journey. Like, how do you manage your contacts? How do you manage your database? So down here, this is where all of your contacts are housed. So this is just a demo account. So these are just like example contacts essentially. But if you come into Joe Example Pro, you can come and see I gave him a 3-star rating, and I can change that to a 5-star rating, and then his score goes up. And so the score is a really big deal, because if they engage with any resources you send them, if we come to activity log, we can see, no, he hasn't done anything. Bad Joe. That's not good. He hasn't engaged with anything I sent him. But let's say I sent him a video or I sent him a survey, I would see in his activity log that that I sent him something. So you can remember what you sent people. Big deal, guys. Big deal. Let's see if there's a contact that has this. Okay, Patrick. Come into Patrick. So you can see he has a higher rating, so his score is bigger. Let's come into his activity log. Okay, look at this. So I sent him stuff, he clicked it, sent it, clicked. Okay, so he's an engaged guy. This is good stuff. So I know that Patrick is engaging with what I'm sending him. So it's phenomenal follow-up material. Okay, because you know if they're actually engaging. And then also, this is where we find our labels. Labels is a big deal. So I'll just give you an example. I was running my marketing business is product based. So we're running a Mother's Day promotion. And so as I add contacts into my app, I'm labeling them. Okay. So I just from the time they enter my app, I make sure I give them appropriate labels. So when I ran my Mother's Day promo, I went into my labels, and I'll show you how to search for labels, and it pulled up a list of 18 people, and I was able to send them all resources within 5 minutes. And then within that half hour, I had like 9 of those people respond, and then boom, they were engaging with my Mother's Day promo. So it was great. So I had a couple sales from doing that, which was phenomenal, you know, and it saved me so much time, because before I would have to go through my contacts on my phone, write down a list, you know, but if you have it labeled, you just search by label, send the appropriate person, you know, and it's timing is so important. So labels, if we come in here, edit, then you can choose which labels you want, and you can add new labels down here. So if you had different spaces you're connecting with, or different people from different agencies, or however you guys are expanding your business, you know, you can make labels. And then when, let's say you guys have what's your meeting called that you invite other agents to? Master, mentor.
Mentors? Yeah, the expert mentors. Yeah.
Expert mentor. So let's say there was a meeting you guys have coming, an expert mentor meeting coming up, and there was a specific topic, and you're like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for that group of people I was connecting with a couple weeks ago. You come here, you find the label, but the important part is you would have to add the label to these contacts. Okay, so you don't want to skip this step. It's really easy to look over, but make sure you're labeling people. And then I'll come back to how to search labels and how to use it appropriately, but that's where you find the label. And then you can also assign people to the email campaigns in this space right here. So if we change one campaign, you can put them into your 2 different campaigns you have available. The opportunity campaigns for agents. What is this one? Agents who want, shoot, I can't see the rest of the words. Do you know what this one is specifically, John or Jay?
Agents that want to grow.
Gotcha. Cool.
You want to grow. Okay, perfect. And then teams. Okay, or none. If you don't feel it's appropriate to put them in a campaign, then you don't put them in a campaign. But we'll do none for now. And then if you're curious about what the campaign looks like, if you come back to your home screen, you can see the campaigns in here, and you can see the drip. So this is all the different emails that will be sent to that contact. So very, very, very powerful tool for you guys just to engage over time and keep people peaked. That's what I call it, keeping them engaged. Okay, so I was telling you, you could search by labels and filters. So if we come back to our contact list, there's 2 buttons up here in the top. One person said it looked like an upside down beaker. I was like, that's creative, but it's supposed to be a filter. Okay, so if you click on the filter, you can filter by label, and then you select the label you want to filter by. So let's say I wanted to filter mompreneurs and, let's see, Keller Williams agents. Okay, so these are all the people that are either mompreneurs or in Keller Williams. And so let's say I had the expert mentor coming up, and there was a topic that was specifically regarded to people in this with those labels, then this is exactly who I'm going to be reaching out to or sending resources or reconnecting with, you know, so that's very, very, very powerful. And then you can also, we'll clear this. Don't forget to clear. If you forget to clear, you're going to come back in a couple days and you're going to be like, I only have 5 contacts. What the heck? And you're going to be so confused. So just remember to clear. Okay. And then this is a sorting. Oh boy. Shoot, hold on. It bugged out. Got to do the leg again. There's a way to sort your contacts in alphabetical order. You can sort who's hot, our algorithm. Okay, so the algorithm, this is also, it's a really big deal. I think for you guys, you would definitely use it a lot. But if you come up here to the sort, this is sort, hopefully it works. No, it's not working. Okay, Steffi, I don't know, Steffi. Steffi's my girl. She's from our team. She helps. I'll just verbally explain it because it's not working. But that's the sort button. You can sort by the score. So you can have the highest people with the biggest score because they get points with how much they're engaging with the resources you're sending. So you can sort the most engaged people will be at the top. You can sort if people are in campaigns or not. You can sort by your star ratings. You can sort if you followed up with them or not, if they're the oldest to newest. So there's lots of different ways you can use the technology. And then the one other thing, yeah, that's essentially all. There's a lot that we could go into, but just for the sake of time, that is all. But I do have a challenge for you guys. I've found that people can watch me teach, but it will just go straight over their head. So this technology is meant to help you build a team. It's meant to help you grow. It's built to make you more profitable. Okay. So my challenge to you guys is to go and explore the app and do this 3 times. Go and find a contact that you can give a star rating to, put a picture in there, send them a resource, and then give them a label, put them in a campaign. So go do that 3 times and just explore all the features I just showed you. It's so user friendly. Like you just have to sit there and look at it for a second and it will all make sense, you know. And so just go do that. 3 people, other agents, invite them into the events by just sorting by labels so you know who you should be inviting. Look at their scores so you can see who's engaging, who you should follow up with, and you'll see some really good results from it. But that's my training for you guys today. Do you have any questions before we jump? Cool.
So can this be downloaded in the App Store, or is it just from this link here?
You can download it from the App Store. If you download it from the App Store, you're going to need a group code. It'll ask you for a group code. And Steffi, could you put that in the chat in Zoom if you're here, Steffi?
I think it's Honey Badger.
Okay, Honey Badger. Perfect.
Savannah?
Yes.
Yes, I did this thing like 1 year ago, but
Okay.
I put a database from 1,000 agents that I received, and then I have to do one by one. The only option now that I listen is label. This is the first time that I'm coming back to this because I'm using CRM Grow, another database, because it was impossible to use this for me.
To go and label, like batch label, essentially?
Yes, because I cannot do one by one, you know. If they okay, they start to talking, but I have like 1,000 database from Spanish speaker, and I want to hold one by one. It's impossible.
Yeah.
How can we do it? Because I move, but this is my first time coming back here to Honey Badger, and now I'm listening that you're here explaining these things.
Yeah. That's a fantastic question. Because I will tell you, our technology was really not built for mass imports, but there is ways that you can do it. So I'm proud of you for figuring out how to get that into the app, because it does take a little bit of time to figure out, but so good job. Steffi, I want to include you in here if you have good signal. Can you hop on and is there any way she can go through and label a big group?
Yes, Savannah, thank you. I as what I've understand, you already have the contacts in your app, right? It's already downloaded in your app, and you're looking for the option to label, or you mass label them. Is that correct?
1,200 agents right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I stopped because I could not do it one time.
Yeah, you're right. Currently, how the label works, we do it like 1 by 1 per contact if it's already loaded. However, if it's not loaded yet, what we can do is upload them, like all the contacts, into one label in like an Excel file. But for now, since the contact is already in your app, currently we have to label them 1 by 1.
Maybe an option to delete everything and upload again everything.
That will somehow delete their, like, if you have if they have like answered the surveys or maybe important notes that you did for those contacts. But if you don't have any interaction with them, then that will be an option as well. We can delete and upload them.
Yeah, because at one point they told me that you have to be like 11% or 15% contact. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't remember. And I have engagement. I have 11% engagement and 128 engagement. At this point, I don't care really. Yeah.
Have you tried to access the web version of the app, like going to the like the desktop version or the on your computer, I guess that will be much easier for you to add the label there as well.
Okay. Now I'm gonna check how.
Yeah.
On that note,
It's
quickly, next week, so we do these calls every week,
Okay.
those of you who don't know, and next week my whole teaching will be on how to navigate the web app, the desktop version, and all the features that are on there available. So you can go and explore, see if you can get on there, but next week we'll deep dive on that.
Okay, super. Thank you so much for your help.
Mhm. Awesome. Okay, guys. Yeah, that was a great question, Carmen. Wonderful. Okay. Well, I will see you guys next week.
Alrighty. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Yes, I'm excited for you guys. You guys are really fun to work with. You're a very
All right.
engaged group. So keep it up, guys. Talk to you next
Okay.
week.
Thanks. Have a great day.